Empires and Puzzles video. This time I will be doing a hero testing for the new one of the new Valiant vegetables, Broseph. This is a new type of content that I'm kind of doing. I haven't done hero reviews or testing really with commentary in the past. So definitely leave a comment and a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. But let's get right into Broseph. So you can see he looks really cool. He's the broccoli of the Valiant vegetables. Let's really quickly go over his special, and then we'll jump into some raids with some teams that I've created with him. And obviously, if you guys have other teams that you have for him, they probably will work as well. So make sure to leave a comment so others can see. But there's definitely a bunch of combinations that we can do. But these are 3 that I found that work really well and kind of highlight the great special that Broseph has here. So his family is the Valiant vegetable. This family is really, really great. I'm sure everyone's kind of familiar with this family at this point, where they give the fiends, right, that transform into other fiends or mega fiends either. So really great family bonus, family passive here. Broseph is also the druid class. This is one of the best classes for healers or generally defensive heroes. So really, really great, because then he gets, if he's on 25 nodes, he will have that 15% chance to get a thorn minion with 25% health, and that it can be like over 1,000 HP. So it's a really, really great buff or class, and like a huge plus for Broseph. So that's really great. His ailment or his double limit break effect is ailment immunity. So for 6 turns, he will be immune to any status ailments. This is also really, really great, especially if you go up against, like a Song or a Ceres, like he will not be getting silenced as well. So that's really, really, really good for him as well. Then the passives are pretty standard across all, or it's the same for all the Valiant vegetables. He has this empowered resist special skill blocking, which means he's immune to status ailments that will prevent the use of his special skill. So like silence and things like that. So if he does get silence, then he will gain 450% boosted health and 5% mana and will not get silenced. So this comes in really handy, especially for those Songs, for those Cereses, to make sure that you don't get impacted by them. So this is really, really nice. It's not as good as some of the other passives on some of the newer families, but this one comes in very handy. This is also especially good for rush wars where moths are very common. He cannot fall asleep. He can get the moth dust, but he will not fall asleep, and he'll get that little buff as well. So that's really nice. And then here's that Seedling Summoner, where first he has the Seedling Fiend, then the Sprout Fiend, and then it turns into the Blossom Mega Fiend. So really great. All of these, passives and family bonuses. So really, really awesome, passives and family buffs that he has here. So let's go over his special skill now. He is on fast speed mana, so that's really, really great. He can charge in 7 tiles, and that's kind of the benefit of having fast speed heroes. Very, very fun to play with, and it allows for a lot of really fun synergies as well. But his special is Superfood Purification. He recovers 50% health for the caster and nearby allies. That is a huge amount. I mean, there's no other fast speed healer that heals 50%. I think like Dio-chan, she is also a fast speed healer, but I think she does, somewhere around like 30%. But the difference between someone like Broseph and Dio-chan is that Broseph only does the caster and nearby allies. So that is a little bit worse, when building teams, because now you're forced to either take another healer or create some weird synergy. So that is kind of the one caveat with Broseph, is that he is only for the caster and nearby allies, which is a little bit unfortunate. But other than that, very phenomenal healing amount. The next thing that he has is this Uproots. Uproots debuffs from the caster and nearby allies. This is a new concept that was introduced with Broseph. So let's read a little bit about this one. So it removes, or safely removes 2 status ailments, negative stacks, or wither ailments from each of the 3 targets. So himself, or their nearby allies. And then he receives 7% boosted health for each of the effects that he removes, and he removes 2 from each. So if there's 2 on both his nearby allies and himself, he'll remove 6 in total. So the boosted health can become quite big. And I think the priorities here, so that last bullet point, wither effects are removed first. This is a really great one. So many heroes are doing wither now. So he kind of neutralizes that first. So that's super, super helpful as well. And one of the teams that I have will demo, against Imagus, how he works perfectly against him. So Uproot, very fun, and very powerful. It basically removes everything safely. So it's a very nice effect. And then growth. We know what growth is. So many heroes do it at this point in the game. But here is where all allies get 125 attack and 125 defense. So like his other, his first 2 bullet points are for nearby himself and the nearby allies, but then the growth is for everyone. So that's still, nice that at least he got that for everyone. But I mean, in terms of the talent pet that I also recommend for Broseph is pretty much everything that goes either shield or health, since he doesn't deal damage. You don't want to go attack on him. I typically go shield over health. I know that some people will disagree with me, but that's just typically how I go for these types of defensive heroes. So I pretty much went all defensive, and I think somewhere like here, if there's attack and shield, I went for the double, health or healing. But this is the path that I took. And then obviously defense for the 25s, or for the master emblem. So that's kind of how I have my Broseph set up. I do have a second one right up here. I'm still working on getting this Broseph maxed. I think I'll probably keep him at level 85. I don't really know if I need to max a second one fully to 90. But I'll try and get this one ready, pretty soon for the next war. They're both really fun, and I have one team that uses both of them, and it'll kind of demo that a little bit. So let's jump straight into the hits. All right, so for this first team, let's quickly go over what is going on here. Since Broseph only heals and does the uproot for himself and for the nearby allies, I'm putting the heroes that I want to survive the longest, my damage dealers. So here's kind of what is going on with this plan. Sable will have no healing other than what's coming from herself, but I'm not really that worried about Sable. The goal with this team is to have Sable be in a ghost form as long as she can, because she doesn't have healing, right? So I need her to be in the ghost form so she doesn't take any damage. And then Fergent also will not receive any of the healing from Broseph. So he's also kind of, the other riskiest one in this team, where he does have the highest chance of dying because he is also the taunt. But Fergent's really awesome because he does, he can dodge as well. And he has the effect where he can reduce damage to 1. So he's really, really awesome in that regard. And then if he does die and Sable's alive, he'll bring him, Sable will bring Fergent right back. And then Satin and Shravya, I don't really have a good reason why I take them. I just want either 3 yellows or 3 blues kind of in this team. Shravya is, very fast on 6 tiles, and then Satin's on 9. I would try and put another average speed hero to replace Shravya. I don't really have a good option for any other hero, so I'm just going to take Shravya. Ideally, I think it's best to do yellows here instead of blues, because we want specials to be timed with Fergent. So I want to get 3 heroes at a time with Fergent so that he does as much damage as he can and put as many people to sleep as well. So that's kind of the concept here. This is a really good team against Imagus or anything with Wither, because Broseph, removes all the Wither that Imagus will put on him. Fergent, I don't really care if Fergent gets a bunch of Wither on him. Same thing with Sable; she doesn't do damage. He can throw as much Wither on Sable as he wants. So all I care is the 3 on the left. I don't want them to have Wither, and Broseph will remove that and actually give them growth. So that's kind of the concept here. It is a very passive team. There's not a whole lot of damage, but the combination of Broseph with Sable, where Sable does have The family or the passive of decreased healing, where all enemies get minus 50% healing. That works really well with Broseph because he gives those fiends on the enemies, and they're not able to heal out of them. So eventually those fiends will turn into mega fiends, and slowly they just die. I've had a lot of luck with this team, and it's been performing really well for me in raids. So let's see if this one will go just as well. I'm going to try and go against tough meta teams for all of these hits. I want to make sure that we don't just take on easy teams just to win the raids. We want to make sure we test them to the fullest. And even if I lose them, like that's okay. It's just to demo a little bit about the synergy on this attacking team. So here I'm going against an Imagus. This is a really tough team with Friowaru, Ustad, Imagus, Taffer, and Lane. Yeah, and their only healing is from Friowaru, so let's see how this goes. The one kind of bad thing about this team is that Imagus can still throw back the moth dust straight onto me. So it's kind of the one not so good about this team. But it hasn't caused me issues yet, so I'm just gonna dump a bunch of tiles until we get our heroes. I'm gonna immediately use Sable. I want her to not lose health as much as she can, so we're gonna start off immediately. I'm gonna go for this 4 yellow. Definitely want that dragon ready in case I need an additional tile. And we have Broseph ready here, and you guys are gonna see in a second how much he's gonna heal for. Obviously, Imagus does give the minus or the decrease in healing received. So it is going to be reduced a little bit, but it'll still be very, very good. So let's set him out. He's going to remove that wither as well. So we have 400 wither from Imagus, and then Broseph will remove that here as well. So you can see, oh my god. I mean, Broseph just healed himself for 1600 over health as well, and that's from removing all those effects from San and from Stravia. So he's already at 6300 health, and he's done nothing. So really, really great so far there. Let's try looking for some more yellows. Or honestly, I think with this team, we just want to tile dump into Imagus a little bit. We're not too scared of him. We do have the ability to remove the wither, and the fiends are starting to pile on to them as well. So I'm just gonna keep going for Broseph, I think. All right, so we killed Imagus the first time. Friowaru does have the Mega Fiend on herself, so she'll eventually die. The good thing with this one is I do have 2 moths, so then Imagus keeps clearing and they all keep falling asleep. So it does save me a lot of time. But as you can see, my own Furgen is asleep as well, so that's kind of problematic as well. But hopefully we can get out of that in just a second. Imagus is about to go off, so I'm going to wait until that happens before I use Broseph. I also don't want to use Stravia because he's going to throw that back onto me, so let's wait just a turn. Okay. And hopefully Furgent can wake up here any second. But I'm going to use Broseph now. And I think we're going to wait with Stravia. I'm not in a huge rush to use her quite yet. I think, because I also don't want to wake up Ustad in all of this, but if we have to, we will. All right, Taffer's going to go off, but that's okay. I really just want him to wake up Furgent. Okay. He did cut his mana, so that's a little bit bad. But a lot of people are starting to die already, so I'm going to hit, I think, straight in the middle here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use Stravia immediately. I don't want to throw tiles into Lane because if he goes off, it's going to be pretty bad. So I'm going to go for Sable here first. Something tells me Furgent's about to die, but that's okay with me. We're going to ghost these greens and then, keep looking for yellows. But as you've seen, I haven't used really any specials. Like, I've used 2, attacking specials so far only. And I haven't really had a need to, be scared about anyone right now. So I think we're still in a really, really good spot. I'm going to ghost these yellows on the far end. Okay. So Furgent did die, but he'll be back in just a moment. I'm not too scared of Imagus going off again, so I'm going to do these purples. Okay, we're going to try and go for Furgent here, and then we should be pretty much safe from everything. All right, Strava did fall asleep, but that's okay. So now we just go crazy, and you'll see. So we'll use Furgent, and then we'll use Broseph, and he should be able to remove everything off of them. And he even removed the deep sleep from Sharp. So that's another. I think his uprooting is just so powerful that it'll take anything. Now we just hit and we try and kill him. So we've stalled long enough that we can we control the battle at this point. But you can see at no point did we really struggle. We didn't have any issues with Taffer hitting or we weren't scared of Ustad. They just kept in a loop falling asleep, and that's kind of the goal with this team. And even though Furgent and Sapel haven't had any healing from Broseph, they're still very much healthy. And Furgent died, but he came back. So I think that this team has a really nice synergy of slow and steady. But you can see Broseph, because of all that overhealing that he does, he's nowhere close to even dying. I mean, he has 7,500 health. So now it's only a matter of time, I think, until we kill Taffer. All right, this one's basically over. I'll be back for another hit in just a second. All right, we're going to try another Imagus team. This time it's in a different formation, and this is Limp Lizard from the Redeemed Realms, so we have to hit him. But here, pretty much the same concept. I don't really care about Imagus. I'm just going to keep throwing all my tiles into him, but until we get Furgent. Furgent's kind of the key here and everything. So I'll do these blues. We're going to keep Sable for now because she still has that minion on herself. So she'll be able to survive a little bit longer. But we just got to continue to tile jump here. Okay. All right, I'm going to use nobody yet, but now I'm going to keep waiting for yellows here. Okay, I'm going to use Sable now. Or no, I'll wait a little bit. Because I don't really want to continue falling asleep. So I'm going to use Broseph here just because I have a lot of greens on the board as well. So I want to make sure that I make use of them. But you can see Bima already has a Mega Fiend. Catalina's about to have one as well. And then Taffer's going to have one in a second. And they all just keep falling asleep here. So we got to look for a couple more yellows. The yellows are not coming up, but so he hit Broseph, but that didn't really do much to me. I'm gonna use Sable here first, I think, and then I'm gonna pop this purple dragon. I'll use Striver for now just to do a little bit of damage, but. And now we're just going to use everyone. We want to kill the middle 3 first, just because they can't revive. We'll use Stravia. And once again, we're at a point of the battle where, sure, they've hit me a million times, but like I feel like I never lost control of the battle here as well. So I don't know. I think this is a really fun team. Like, it also shocks me how passive this team is, and like it kind of works. It does play the slow game, and it utilizes the fiends of the veggies like perfectly. So yeah, this one worked out really nicely. Let's see if we can kill Taffer. All right, I'll be back in a second. The other way how I think Broseph is really good to be paired with is obviously with a double Broseph. So if you have a second one and you were fortunate to pull another one, I think it's definitely worth it to use both of them on the same attacking team. If you have two veggies, I don't think you really need a fox on the team, like someone like Sable or Riverfang to reduce the healing. Just because there's two, they do give more fiends. So I think without a fox is actually better here. How I would usually pair something like this is just take 3 of the same color in hitting, so that I have healing in green and then attacking in yellow. The yellows here are really good. They can usually win a battle all on their own. So let's see how this goes. And obviously it's important to put Broseph in positions 2, 3, or 4. 1 or 5, you kind of lose out on some of his special. So that's something to keep in mind. If you have him, make sure you put him in 2, 3, or 4. I'm just going to towel jump a little bit. And we are facing Broseph ourselves as well here, so we can see how he does as a tank as well. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to tell somebody. I don't really care if he goes off either, but I don't think Broseph's that good on the tank position. I think something else needs to tank, and he can like flank or something. So if you have him, I personally wouldn't tank him, but maybe if you can think of some fun defense with him, then maybe it'll work. But here we're gonna try and kill maybe like Bartholomew first. Let's kill. Yeah, I think we're just gonna kill their Broseph here. Can't seem to get another green, but there it is. And so here we're going to be able to see how great the healing of Broseph actually is. I'll pop this dragon here, then we'll have our last green match. But you'll see, I mean, like for example, I'll do this left one first because I think he's going to heal a little bit more. But I have 4 Mega Fiends and you know, almost some on my Zaza, and I'll use this Broseph on the left and look at how crazy his healing is. Just him alone with no boost, he almost removes the whole Fiend, which has almost 3,000 health. So that's super, super impressive. And I'll use the second one. And I think it'll clear Zaza's Fiends almost, okay. But I mean, it's just incredible how big of that 50% healing that is. But let's try and kill the free warrior here. But you can see, I mean, the Fiends are kind of doing the thing on their own. So I don't really think you need to take a super aggressive team, kind of like I took here, with a lot of damage. I think something a little more passive will work as well. But this one's pretty much over at this point. All right, I'll be back with just another hit with this team. All right, for this team, we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to go 3-2 with the blues. I think the concept here that I'm trying is, you know, Nautica or always having healing, and we should be like never dying, and then the Fiends will you know, do the damage for us, and then some strong, you know, blue hitters or some strong blue all hitters that will be able to, you know, do a lot of damage as well. So let's try and find an opponent here that could be good. Yeah, let's try this one here. I'm going to tile jump a little bit. I mean, we don't really care about Cupido, and so, Nautica and the Broseph will resist the effect from Cupido, so that's really great there. So shows off the passive there as well. And I know, this second Broseph isn't ready, but you can see with, using Nautica and 3 tiles, I was able to get Broseph here as well. So, that's, really great for these types of matches, especially because, nowadays the meta is, you need to get your heroes as quick as possible. So I think that definitely helps. Yeah, let's go for some blues. I'm going to use Broseph now just to remove that effect from Vernix. I mean, he really wants to kill my Vernix. All right, let's keep going. We should get our second Broseph here. Nice. And Hrother's going to get healed up from about 1,000 to, so it's a pretty big heal right there. And that was a pretty big heal even with Sable's minus 50%, so pretty nice there. Let's keep fishing for some tiles. I mean, so far so good. I think Nautica's nicer because they just never die. I think even instead of Hrothgar, I could take another Vernix, and then no one ever dies basically. So I do think that's definitely another good strat is take cats on the side here. Let's see if we can wrap this up. Yeah, but I think that's the general concept of this team is, I think using the Valiant Vegetables, obviously you want to be careful about going against Salome and Ragrim because they will cleanse those fiends away. But I think you still got to play the long game with all of these. Otherwise, you're kind of missing out on the fiends. And obviously, once you're down to one hero, just like it is here, and I have 2 of the veggies, then none of them can turn into the mega fiends. But they did their job already, so I'm not too concerned. Hopefully now. We should. Oh my god, okay. Maybe this time? Nope, not yet. All right, nice. I have one more team that I want to show off, and I'll be right back with that one. So here's another really fun team that will work. So since Broseph is on fast speed, you want to pair him also with other fast speed heroes. Since Broseph only heals on the sides, you kind of want to take another heal. I think Nautica is a really great option here as well. Nautica, boosts the mana of the nearby allies, but also heals everyone. And so to kind of go with Nautica, I am putting White Thing here, but I think any blue hero can work here as well. This is another one where I think it's really the goal. The goal is to play for time here as well, but I think this one's really about the Mega Fiends. Like Grover puts Mega Fiends, so like any fiends from Broseph that don't turn into Mega Fiends, Grover can do that for us as well. Plus we have the dot damage from Fafnir and from White Fang. So I think that's kind of it is playing on time here, but we do have quite a bit of damage going into here. So I think let's see how this goes. I'm gonna try going against the Song team. This one's really good for me to go up against because both Broseph and Nautica will resist the silencing. So we should be able to take advantage of that a little bit. All right, I'm gonna do these greens first before I mess up the matches. All right, so we're just gonna throw White Fang over here so his effect starts spreading. It's gonna get cleansed away by Song, I guess, but that's okay. And I maybe would even pair Broseph next to Nautica. Because then he would be able to cleanse this sleep. But we'll just have to wait a little bit longer. So I'm gonna go for these blues here now. So we have Broseph now, and he'll be able to cleanse the silence that we have. So let's do that now. And he's gonna have a huge heal here. Oh my god, yeah. I don't know why Fafnir's in that weird form right there, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go and put Fafnir here on the right side. And because there is a fiend already on Gander, I'm gonna put this one on their healer. Oh, the fiend, where did it go? I swear I thought I used Grover on Alyssa. Does she resist something? I don't think so. Okay, I'll have to play back what happened. I have no idea. I guess let's try again. But I swear I put a minion on her. I don't know where it went, but okay. I'll have to rewatch that to see, but... And then once again, so now Broseph will remove all 6 effects from the 3 of them, and he's going to have a massive, massive heal here. Let's see. 2,000 over. So I think that's the maximum because it's 7 times 6 then. So he heals for what 42% I think or something over heal. So pretty huge. I'm gonna use Fafnir on the left here, then hopefully we can wipe them out. I mean, this battle's pretty much over, so it just ended right there. Let's do one more with this team, and then we'll do some summary at the end. So let's find another really tough team that we can go up against. Let's see. Salome doesn't make too much sense here. All right, let's try this one. Pretty tough team with Taffer tanking. They have 2 of their own veggies. So let's see how we can do here. We do have Matsu, so we have a little bit of control in the battle. I'm going to use this purple dragon, and we actually have a green diamond there. Let me know if you saw that. Oh, well, we lost it, but that's okay. Ooh, Fafnir's dead. Wow. Right. I mean, this will be a perfect example of we lost our biggest damage dealer already. So let's see if we can, still be able to win this one. Because all those 3 heroes have fiends, I'm going to put the one from Grover on Fuyawaru over here. And now we definitely need to go for blues here as well. So I'm going to do this green, and we'll have a blue in a second. Okay, Taver's going off again. Hopefully it doesn't kill anyone. Let's see. And he kills Grover. So now we're in a really, really bad spot. So let's see if we can still make it out of this mess. Which I am skeptical if we'll be able to, honestly. So let's start putting some of these effects, I think. So he can resist it. So I think let's put on Deviani. This one. All right, first I'm going to use Broseph because he doesn't overheal or he doesn't even heal any of these other people. But I want that when Nautica goes off at 100%, she'll be able to overheal just a little bit here. Let's use Nautica now. And Nautica has a huge heal. I'm going to do this diamond to try and clear the board up a little bit. But the ones on the right scare me a little bit. Okay, if a White Fang dies, then we're in a really bad spot. I'm going to do these yellows into Deviani. She's going off either way. I think hitting Broseph is perfect. I mean, he definitely has the most health. I'm going to do this. I still want to stall. I don't want to be too aggressive here. And White Fang did die, which is really bad. But it's kind of like a matter of time. Taffer will definitely be the biggest issue here. But maybe we can wait him out. I'm going to do... I don't want to do that green because the purples are going to go and set him off again. I think I'm going to do this move here. Okay. All right, I'm going to do, I think, this purple here. No, I don't know, actually. This is a tough call here. Because if Taffer goes off, then I'm for sure dead. So I think let's throw it into Bartholomew. I'm not too scared of him right now. Okay, how much health? You have 164. I'll do these greens, and we'll get a little cascade here. Or a big one. I just don't think we have enough of like anything to really do it, but let's go for Broseph here. And now we're just going to go for Cascade and hope that he somehow dies. Yeah, he won't. But either way, I mean, you can see like everything was kind of falling apart, but because of all those fiends that we were able to put on them already, we were able to get the defense down to only just one hero. So I think that's the power of the fiends, and definitely I think the best way to use Broseph is definitely for the fiends. So yeah, I think overall a really, really fun hero. So let's quickly do a small summary of the teams that I took here, and then we can make a conclusion. This is the first team that we took. Remember that this one, plays on the fact that we don't really care about what happens with Fergent or Sable. It can get as much weather, as much effects, They're kind of the test rats here, to just get everything into them, and then we slowly kill them with our yellows. So this was a really fun and passive team that was able to kill a bunch of people. And this team, I also took it with the yellows. I think both work really well. The double Broseph is definitely really helpful and helps keep your team alive. Like I said before, I think a double cat on the wings would probably be ideal here, just because they won't die. Like a double Vernix would be really fun. So I this is really great as well. And then obviously pairing Broseph with other fast green heroes, that's definitely ideal. Like we saw with that last hit, didn't really get, unfortunate targeting where Fafnir died really early on, and then soon Grover died as well, but we were still able to kill 4 out of 5 with like basically no damage being dealt to them, and all my heroes dying very quickly. So still, I think that proves the power of the Fiends, and they're still very, very usable. So I think we were able to showcase Broseph a little bit. Hopefully some of these teams and these battles that I've done today will help you create teams for your own Broseph. So let me know in the comments what teams you've created with Broseph and how he's been going with attacks. And yeah, I appreciate everyone watching, and I'll see you in the next one.